So estate agents are full of great ideas of things to do to your property if you're thinking of bringing it to the market. Lots of tips what to do, but what you don't often hear are them giving you tips of things not to do to your property to make it more saleable or to add value to it. So I've chosen to give you today 5 tips on things not to do with your property or not to invest in to make your property more saleable or to add value to it. And I'm going to start right here in the kitchen of my own property that I live in. It's not actually my own property. My wife and I rent it. We rent it from a professional property company, and they own literally hundreds of properties all over Oxford, Lucy Properties, and they know a thing or two about making properties look good for, not a lot of money. So yeah, starting here in the kitchen. So first tip is do not spend hundreds of thousands, tens and tens of thousands of pounds on a bespoke, fantastically expensive kitchen. That is, unless you have a property that's worth millions of pounds. You do not need to do that. Quite honestly, go to Magnet, go to one of the many medium level, entry level kitchen companies out there and choose your kitchen and have fun with it. Here we are in Lucy Properties kitchen, and you can see, do you know what? Have a look at that, see if you can see it. It's a great looking kitchen. It's a really good looking kitchen. If I come here, just scan in here, look, you can see these work surfaces here, lovely marble work surfaces. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'll bet you any money they didn't spend more than about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7,000 pounds on this kitchen. It's the way to go. I once valued a house once that wasn't a particularly great house in London. They'd spent 160,000 pounds. Now, you know, you can go to companies like Clive Christensen and Mark Wilkinson and spend these kind of sums on kitchens, but you won't get the money back. You won't increase the value of your house by that. So go to Magnet, make sure your kitchen is fitted by a very good tradesman, a very good kitchen fitter, and you will see the results. Now, funnily enough, the same thing applies to bathrooms too. Don't go overboard on spending money on kitchens and bathrooms. By all means, treat yourself, have fun with it, and get yourself a great kitchen, but don't spend too much money on it. Tip number 2. Lighting and electronics. Do not spend tens of thousands of pounds on fancy lighting and electronic systems. It just isn't worth it. I have sold houses before where they've had these amazing systems put in where you operate the whole house on an iPad and you have mood lighting and goodness knows what. But guess what? The number of times I've sold these houses and the people who have bought them have stripped out the whole thing and just put back and here it is, a light switch. Like that. That's what people want to do. They want to turn their lights on and off. Don't spend thousands, tens and thousands of pounds on rewiring your house with fancy systems. It ain't going to add any value to the property and will actually put people off if they can't switch the light on. Tip number 3, very, very expensive ceiling light fittings. Now, you might like Swarovski diamond encrusted chandeliers in your sitting room, but a lot of people probably won't. So if you do have one of those in your house, do make sure to tell the estate agent that it's not included in the sale and take it with you. Somebody might want to buy it possibly, but probably not. These days, most people will go not for ceiling lights, but for lamps that you can put up. And here is a typical example. We're in Lucy Properties again. This is Lucy Properties' idea for a ceiling light. And there we have it. A nice plain ceiling light. It's not offensive. It does the job perfectly well. And then in the sitting room here, we have our own lamps. There you go. There's a lamp. There's another lamp. Looks nice. It's great. Also, ceiling lights. You can see the ceiling lighting here. There's another thing Lucy Properties have done. Wonderful stuff here. When they've refurbished the house, it all works. Use that. Don't buy terribly expensive ceiling light fittings. Tip number 4. Paint colours, bold paint colours. Now, we've all done it, haven't we? When we were teenagers, well, perhaps we haven't all done it, but you know, let's just think of the typical extreme example. You know, if you're a kid, you want to paint your bedroom black, don't you? Of course, nobody likes that. Yes, you know, sometimes it's nice. You've got a dining room, you want to paint it a deep red colour, you know, like you see in the films and everything. If you do that, and you do paint very bold colours because you particularly want to have a lime green sitting room or something, this will put buyers off. So fine, by all means do it, but perhaps when you come to sell your house, plain colours, cream. I'm sorry, yes, it might be offensive to some of you who like to make a bit of a statement, but honestly, if you're looking to sell a house, if you do paint 1 or 2 rooms, these really, really bold colours, probably best to put it back to cream once you've finished with it. And here we go, here's Lucy Properties again, all that cream, inoffensive, smart. If I was selling this house, I wouldn't have to do anything for it at all. There you go. Plain colours, please, not bold colours. And lastly, tip number 5, DIY. Unless you're very, very good at it, you might be a builder or a handyman, try not to do it yourself. Pay the extra and get somebody in to do it for you. And I'll tell you why. So here I am in my Lucy Properties bathroom. Once again, there we go, Lucy Properties bathroom. And we can see the tiling behind me. Beautiful tiling. Tiles probably didn't cost a lot of money, but they've been nicely put in there. And so there we go, good tiling. Probably needs a bit of grouting now, I can just see that. But yeah, you need an expert to do it for you. Get the experts in. Don't do your own DIY if you can help it. I know you think it's probably a good job, but people will spot a mile off if it's rubbish. You know, do the thing that you're good at. Leave the tradesmen to do what they do best. That's the last of the tips.